Welcome to Down with Daughtry. On this episode, we are joined by Miss Maya Robertson, who is the Visitation Coordinator at Ogeechee Visitation Center in Guyton, Georgia. Miss Maya also has an interesting background in victim advocacy, and with October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we here at Down with Daughtry wants to continue to bring awareness to this topic. It is so nice to have you, Miss Maya.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. So to start, can you tell us about your experience in victim advocacy?
Sure. I got my degree in criminal justice kind of a little bit later in life, and did an internship with Victim Witness in Effingham County, and I loved it, and they hired me, and so I became the Victim Services Coordinator there. I was a victim advocate. I would accompany them to court. We would get temporary protection orders, provide emergency resources to them, and just kind of help them empower themselves to become a survivor and not a victim anymore. And so, so that's where I started at, and then just went from there.
That is definitely sounds rewarding. And you mentioned some resources and that you could help them. What was there a program dedicated to that?
There is. It's called, in the state of Georgia, it's the Crime Victims Compensation Program, and it's done through the governor's office. And anyone who has been a victim of a violent crime can get resources, financial resources through them to pay for crime scene cleanup or counseling, medical purposes, loss of support, stuff of that nature. So that could be anybody from a victim of domestic violence to a surviving spouse of someone who died due to a drunk driver accident.
Okay.
So it goes, from one end to the next. But yeah, it's out there, and a lot of people don't know about it, but it's there for Georgia residents.
Well, yeah, that is definitely a good resource, and that is, again, why we wanted to continue to bring awareness to this issue, because there's resources that people just are not aware of.
Absolutely.
And so how would one obtain that resource?
Okay. Well, anybody can file for themselves. However, there are organizations and people out there that will assist them with that. That could be anybody from a hospital administrator to a victim advocate through the DA's office, through an organization like Victim Witness. Someone at a safe shelter can help them. And the number one thing they have to do is they have to have a police report. And they can use that and maybe a medical bill. Maybe it's not even a bill. Maybe it's just something from the hospital saying that it's going to cost this amount of money, just so that they have something to file it on.
Right.
And then they are a direct pay, so they don't pay the victim.
Right.
It goes straight to the hospital, straight to the provider. So unless it's like a loss of support or a loss of income, and then obviously those funds would go to the victim.
Okay.
But there's, like I said, anybody can help them with that.
Well, that is great. I do hope that, anyone who's watching and are experiencing any type of domestic violence can find some comfort in knowing that there is help for them.
Absolutely.
Financially.
Absolutely.
And so once you were at Effingham Victim Witness, what was your next gig?
In the same wheelhouse, but completely on the other end of the spectrum. I went to Recovery Place, and I was their Family Violence Intervention Program Coordinator. I did everything from attending domestic violence court to doing family violence intervention assessments, facilitating the classes, and following up with them in court, stuff of that nature. So, mainly family violence intervention and anger management is what I was doing then.
Okay, so with that position, it was more working with the offender.
Absolutely, and they need advocacy too.
Absolutely.
Not everybody finds themselves in a position where they're familiar with. Criminal justice system is flawed. It's ran by humans, so people get it wrong sometimes. It takes somebody in a position such as what I was in to be able to look at the whole picture, to be able to maybe help correct it.
Right.
But yeah, they need advocacy too. Even when when it was right, let's turn it around.
That's right.
It's to prevent recidivism. Let's not repeat our same actions.
That's right.
That's what that's
right.
about.
And it takes a person who has that empathy and able to extend grace to meet them in the middle.
Absolutely.
Meet them where they
Absolutely.
are.
Dignity and respect gets you a long ways.
That's right. Yeah, because, we want to support our victims, no doubt. But at the same time, if you want not to happen again, then that person also needs support.
They need help too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you've seen both sides of
both
it.
sides. And I've had victims and offenders both come to me and thank me for treating them like that, and that gets you a long ways. It really does.
Absolutely. I think that is just awesome. I knew when we kind of chatted about it that I wanted to interview you and get it in this month so we could shine some light on domestic violence awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody needs awareness to it. So.
Well, I thank you for chatting with me about that. Now, tell me what you do currently now. I said you're the Ogeechee Visitation Coordinator.
Yep. So we do supervised visitation at the Ogeechee Visitation Centers. We have 2 locations, Statesboro and Guyton. And when children go into foster care, their parents can visit with them with us while they're going through this. That's probably part of their case plan. And we're here to not only supervise that, but to advocate for them as well. To advocate for the parents, to advocate for the children.
Absolutely.
Because the criminal justice system, the courts, the attorneys, they see the parents. They know their cases. They know their police reports, if there are any. They know the situations. But we get a very intimate view of the situation. And though it may not be in the most comfortable environment, I can help with that too.
Right.
We can make an uncomfortable situation better.
Right.
Bad things happen, good things can come out of that. And I see babies go back home, and that's rewarding.
That's right.
I'm able to advocate for children who maybe they're not being heard.
Right. Exactly.
They're not being heard. So I'm another voice for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very rewarding to be able to do that and to be able to assist somebody in their low moments and be able to show them that there's light out there and it's going to be okay. They need hope.
Hope. I was thinking that word was coming. Hope is oftentimes something that they lack a lot of, having their children removed and not understanding this big process. And I'm sure you kind of make that easier.
Absolutely. I've seen parents at their lowest where they didn't have any hope. Yeah. And I've seen that change. I've seen it not change, but I've seen it change. And that's the rewarding part. That's, people say, oh, I couldn't do your job, or, oh, that must be really hard, or, and it is. Not everybody can do it.
Right.
But I love it, and I know that there can be rewarding moments of it. And if I can understand that, then I can get other people to understand that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is also what I hear you saying too, is like you're treating everyone individually. You're not basing that on another parent's lack of progress, or it's just
everyone's
meeting
different.
them where they're at. And that's what they
That's
deserve.
the point. You got to meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's in their low moment, whether it's in their treatment moment, their recovery, whatever it is. If you're just there for them, and some people just lack support. They don't want to ask for help either, because they don't want people to know they're in the situation that they're in.
Right.
And people who care will be there for you.
Yes.
And whether that's somebody that you've known all your life, or your family member, or me that you just met.
Yeah.
I'm still supporting parents that are not even with us anymore, who their babies already went home. But I keep up with them because I want to know, are y'all doing okay? I want them to know I'm still here.
That's right.
We're still here for different things.
Right, because the need doesn't go away.
Absolutely.
It probably increases once the children are reunified.
Absolutely. And that could be because parents are on heightened alert now.
Yeah.
And so they need to know that though your case is done, we're still here for you. You still have support.
That's wonderful. And so there at OVC, what other services do you provide for the parents?
The other primary resource would be the parenting classes.
And what does that kind of entail?
Well, when visitation happens, usually they want the client to take parenting classes, and we treat those differently too. It's not one curriculum that we teach everybody.
Okay.
You know, we do a parenting inventory, not an assessment, it's not a test. It's just to weigh your strengths and weaknesses, so that we can then look at the curriculum and see what would best suit that parent. We try to have those parenting classes before their visits, so that then they can turn around and implement what they've learned, so that then we can kind of get a view of how that looked for them,
Right.
and if we need to readdress that or keep moving.
Right.
So yeah, that's a very helpful resource that we provide as well.
Yeah, I could see that being helpful because then you have that in the moment, correction or
Yeah.
praise, of the parent.
Exactly. We can help them understand the expectations you have of children in the certain age area that they're at. It's so different.
Right.
At certain ages they're building their mobility skills or their vision or their comprehension or their speech. So that it depends on what age they're at. Maybe your experience of growing up is different from what your child can handle or what you think your child can handle. It's all about the expectations and different other things like developing empathy or understanding what spoiling your child is or discipline.
This one's probably a big one.
Discipline. It's the right way to discipline, but that goes for everybody,
Yes, it does.
just like with your relationships. I explain to parents that it's okay for your kids to see you argue, but it's how you argue.
That's right.
But they also need to see that makeup as well.
Mhm.
And that's what's going to develop their conflict resolution skills. So it's a full circle, Yeah.
So can you tell us a little more about the curriculum that you use?
Sure, it comes from Supervised Visitation Network. Before you can even do that, there's a lot of training that I have to go through. So we are provided that training through SVN, and they provide us with the curriculum and handouts. They provide us with a place to go for us to get ideas or how to engage more. So they provide us with a lot of support for us to provide our parents. So that's where it comes from.
So what other resources are available at OVC?
Well, obviously we do visits, but we don't just do visits for defects cases or anything. We also do private visits.
Okay.
So, there could be a very contentious divorce or some concerns in custody or whatnot. We provide visits for those situations as well. So, it could be that the child still lives with one parent but needs to visit with the other one. So, the parameters would be a little different, but yeah, we provide private visits, stuff of that nature.
So how would one, would they refer themselves then? How would they begin a visit?
They could refer themselves. Their attorney could refer them. Anybody that works with another organization probably could do that. And then we would set it up from there. But yeah, they would just give us a call and, if we have the time slot available for them and whatnot, we're more than welcome to help anybody out.
Wonderful. And so they would just call the Statesboro office?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And so that number is 912-764-4849 if this is a service that you may need. And so, Maya, since you're so resourceful at victim advocacy, can you give our viewers some information on how to get help if they're in a domestic violent relationship?
Sure, absolutely. Each area is different on who you would go to help for. However, you can always reach out to the national hotline. You can reach out to, in Statesboro or Bullock area, you can reach out to Safe Haven. In the Chatham County, Savannah area, you can reach out to Safe Shelter. in the Effingham area, you can reach out to Effingham Victim Witness. But you can also, you can reach out to if you have children and they have a school counselor, reach out to your school counselor, reach out to the resource officer there, reach out to your local church. United Way is a big help. They can give you resources, but they would just send you to those people as well. So, but there are other organizations that you can go to that will get you help as well, but those are direct service help.
Well, I like that. And what's most important is that you're not alone. There are people and places that you can go to.
Absolutely.
To get you and your family safe.
And the biggest thing is domestic violence doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate in races or socioeconomic class, your education, nothing like that. So you never know who could be going through the same thing next to you, and you're keeping that to yourself. And there are other people out there that have stories that can help you and let you know that there's a better outcome and a better situation, and you don't have to stay there no matter what it is. If it's financial abuse or mental abuse or any type of abuse, you're not alone. There's so many people out there that have lived in your shoes and are here to tell you their story to help you get through it yourself.
Yes, and that is their slogan for Safe Havens. Domestic Violence Awareness Month is Stronger Together, and so we are stronger together.
Absolutely.
And we will definitely, hopefully, reach someone and can help them get out of a dangerous situation. And
we have other programs, at our organization. We have Prevent Child Abuse. That's another program that we have to, it helps to reach out to your former clients,
right,
to ask them honestly how it worked for them, what didn't work for them, what they think they could have used but didn't have.
Right.
So we reach out to them and we get that information from them. We reach out to our former, adoptive or foster parents to get their side of it as well.
Right.
What helped? Did you have a relationship with the bio parent?
Right.
Some do,
Mm-hmm.
some don't. But if you do, it helps the situation out so much better.
It does.
It's just another person for support.
That's right.
So there are other programs that we have to help out our community events that we have, fundraising, just anything. Our cost of there's things that the community can get involved with. You don't even have to have all this training.
That's
you
right.
don't have to have a degree. You just have to have passion or empathy and want to help.
Well, I definitely am glad that you are there, and
Well, thank you.
you're
I'm
so
glad I'm there
welcome. Yes, and usually we do a rapid fire question segment.
Okay.
So I'm just going to throw maybe 2 or 3 questions out there.
Okay. All right.
Just real quick.
Ready. Okay.
Favorite NFL team?
Atlanta Falcons. Duh.
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Oh,
so
but that's okay.
excuse me.
That helped me win my fantasy football.
Oh, well, that's good.
game this
Kudos to
weekend.
that.
So good job, Prescott.
Let's see. And what's your favorite ice cream?
Mint chocolate chip.
I'll have to remember that.
But it's got to be not the green mint chocolate. It's got to be the white mint chocolate
White
chip.
chocolate.
Yeah, that's the best. Ask my son.
We'll have to note that. Well, thank you so much, Maya, for coming and doing this interview with me.
Thank you
I
for
really
having me.
enjoyed it. And I hope you have a great day.
Yes, you too. And I love your purple shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, I wore it in support again of October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.